ask you this morning, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, which whenever you're watching this, is the definition of civil. What's the definition of nice? If you listen to our last podcast, I was a real asshole. I was a real jerk. Civility was definitely out the window on that one. I acted like a Democrat. Oh, I didn't mean to say it like that. I acted rudely and obnoxiously, okay, to Stuart. There was no civility in my tone because I didn't agree with him, so therefore I insulted him. This has become the norm in our society, but it's vile. It's gone out of hand. And we seem to have lost one word for each other: respect. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Rent Network. I'm David Solomon. He is Stuart Brisgell. We get ready because you know what? On this unedited, unfiltered, uncensored, and really unapologetic, although I just did apologize, conversation, we cover everything from news, pop culture, and the quirks of modern life, and so much more. Look, we are going to talk very honestly, we always do, about the diverse perspectives that make us think, laugh, smile, get angry, you name it. But we're honest, we're open, and it's a no holds barred. So sit back, relax. As today we talk about what is really going on in our society. And that is our inability to talk to each other without losing our minds. Now, Stuart, I don't know if you caught yesterday, Hannity interviewed both Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And Elon Musk said that ever since he started working with Donald Trump, he lost friends. People are being uncivil, the rude and obnoxiousness of what he's doing. When you don't agree with someone, we have lost all form of, like, our brains have gone to the shits. And I'm wondering, Stuart, like, what the hell is going on in our society that we just can't be civil?
Listen, David, I accept your apology. And, for everyone that's been listening for the last 4+ years, David and I play a role on this podcast like many people play roles in TV or even at work or even with their spouses. And we play around, and this really started harmlessly that many years ago. And last night I was pondering on a way on bringing up, I guess, the focus of last broadcast, where David now just came publicly to apologize, which really wasn't necessary. We've been friends for God knows how many years, 45+ years. And I really don't care because he can't offend me because it's just David. But the word civility and what it means and the role it plays in politics, like, there's been so much contentious behavior for anyone. It's just sort of gone out the window. You can't have a disagreement without personal attacking, misinformation, or obstruction. Figures like Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass engaged in heated but respectful debates, advancing ideas rather than tearing down their opponent. The U.S. Senate was once a place where ideological rivals could still share and meet. That's not happening. That's the decline of civility or civilization. You have social media and instant communications like X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, reward outrage division and make civil discussion less common. It's in a flash. Your kids see it, you see it, and you believe it. Your parents see it. And if you see it, it must be true. If you seen it on the internet, it must be true. I remember in the late 90s, David, early 2000s, I saw it on the web. Okay, it's the web, right? What's the truth there? And here we are trading news on the web. Hyper-partisanship. Definitely not adding to civility. And the media polarizing, the ideological reinforcing the division rather than fostering a dialogue, which, Dave, I'm about to invoke the Walter Cronkite theory. You got to have both sides or you can't give an opinion because you're just regurgitating someone else's opinion. And it's the erosion of the institution. It's the erosion of civilization. It's the erosion of democracy. And Elon Musk coined, it's a bureaucracy if it's not a democracy. And the Democrats, who claim to be democratic, seem to want to enforce bureaucracy, not democracy. But that's my opinion, and I'm basing it off of their rallying in the streets to say, don't cut senseless pork. But I remember Obama being elected that he was going to do just that. Bill Clinton got elected to do just that. Yet the Clintons walked out with the White House China, and Obama walked out and scored a $27 million house. It's the erosion of the institution, and trust in government has declined, leading to an increased popularity of inflammatory rhetoric. You know, there's consequences to incivility. When civility breaks down, democracy suffers. Gridlock in Congress and the House, a rise in political violence and threats. Man, you try to shoot a president twice, but the left didn't condone it. But now they're saying we should have war in the streets. These charlatans who claim to be representing ethnic groups are just that, charlatans. It's a political violence offered by what I'm going to call a public official. Now, congressmen and senators are excluded from being charged for rising to this occasion, but you as a civilian are not. And the electoral leaders know this. They are toxic to their participants. They are toxic to society. They are toxic to civility. Incivility fuels this distrust, makes it harder for society to tackle critical issues like economic reform, healthcare, climate change. My word, you can be Canadian booing an American national anthem, and I can be booing a Canadian national anthem, but we still have to have health, and we still have to care about the environment. That doesn't mean it's an all or nothing, hate or kill. Civility. How do you restore this, David? Encouraging civil debate, educating civil discourse. You have to reject extremism. How about social media reform? It's a personal responsibility. And David, I thank you for taking personal responsibility for what happened yesterday or the other day. But isn't it amazing? Have you heard any politician from either side present any civility towards one another?
Oh, hell no. And let's be real, because civility doesn't exist in politics. It pretend. There's protocol. And Stuart, it's really funny because in a parliamentary system, for example, in Canada, you cannot address the person at the other side of the aisle by name. The honorable member. That's the civility, right? But when Pierre Poilievre called Justin Trudeau wacko in Parliament, he was cited and actually expelled from Parliament because it was not civil. And I mean, the backlash towards the speaker was that was a partisan shot. That he has to be balanced. And I think that this is what's going on right now in society, is that we've accepted the lack of civility as a form of rebelliousness, as a form of opposition. And when you make statements like Chuck Schumer did, where he blamed Donald Trump for the plane crash in Toronto, where is the civility in that area? Where's the civility for the people who went out and decided that Israel is to be blamed and Jews their anti-Semitism in the streets are okay and whatever? There's no civility. Allowing violence to be your form of opposition, there's no civility, there's no discourse, there's no conversation. What you said about the anthem, Stuart, is exactly, you're right. Montreal, they booed the national anthem in both games. What do the people in Boston do on Monday afternoon? Boo the Canadian national anthem. It's not civility. And you know what, Stuart? I don't expect it anymore. And that's the problem. What I expect is a lack of civility, childishness, and I'm not saying that the Republicans are much better. I've heard enough stupid comments from that end.
Yep.
The problem becomes this. What we've seen today accepted in society, you know, I'll actually backtrack before I even get into that. My wife used to tell me, it was really funny. She goes, we should be going back to the Cosby Show, because in the Cosby Show, look how civil they were. Look how they acted. Look how a family should talk to each other. Well, let me tell you something. Father Knows Best TV shows and all that kind of crap. Give me a break. There was no civility there. It's fake. It's pretend. We've seen that. We don't know how to respect each other. You could say something and I could disagree. And rather than saying, you know what, let's agree to disagree, you freak out. Okay. And I'll tell you something. I had it happen to me last summer when a member of my family lost her mind because I thought she was wrong about DEI. And she absolutely lost. And when my wife, who's civil, she's my civil code, she's my counterbalance, said, well, let's agree to disagree, that wasn't good. And this is what's happened in society today, Stuart. And really what it comes down to is if you show civility, it's a sign of weakness, because you can't be civil, because we pretended here. Joe Biden pretended to be civil. He was an asshole. Obama pretended to be civil, and that was his aura. Okay, his aura is, look at this, a civil guy, whatever. He was an asshole. The reality is that people want, when they want to be civil, they know how to be civil until you disagree with them. And we are no longer accepting opinion. And we wrap ourselves around it's free speech. I could say whatever I want. You still can't scream fire in a theater. There's still a line of hate, but you know, that's it. We've accepted in our society that being an asshole, that's okay, as long as you don't do it to me. If I do it, it's okay. But if you do it, it's not okay. I have no idea how to turn this around, my friend. But we are seeing it in media. And I'll give you Margaret Brennan, for example. Look what she did, right? She absolutely misrepresented. I don't know if you heard this thing. She said that free speech was abused in Nazi Germany and hence the Holocaust. And we're like, even Marco Rubio called her out going, what are you talking about? That is the most idiotic thing. Did she apologize for her mistake? Did she go out? Did she say anything? No. When you watch CNN and MSNBC make remarks about the right that are off the ledge. Now, by the way, let me ask you a question. Are the Democrats being civil about the fact that they got their hands caught in the cookie jar? Or are they attacking Elon Musk's personality? Instead, this is where civility, my friend, has gone out the window. Speaking of civility, we turn off the phones when we have a conversation. No, but Stuart, I'll ask you this question.
Right.
How do you turn this around?
You know, the only way that, civility in politics isn't just about being polite. It's about ensuring democracy functions effectively.
Hold on. I think that civility in politics is not about democracy. Okay, we expect our politicians. It's funny. Especially in the US, you go through these crazy hearings. You do background checks. You offend the living crap out of people, right? You don't, and then it doesn't make a difference whether you're right or wrong. First thing is there are no facts, right? Look how they attacked RFK. Tulsi Gabbard. You're going to tell me that's civility? That's a democracy.
Well, right. But the only way you're going to get there isn't just about being polite. If we want leaders to act with respect, you have to demand it. You have to engage in conversation, challenge ideas without attacking people. And remember, it thrives when we listen and speak. David, I don't want to just, let this just close it out and say, okay, we discuss civility, we discuss politics. Again, there's several types of relationships. They involve a giver, they involve a taker. And the best relationship is where one is always giving and the other one's always taking. This is like an old adage that I'm sure many of you have heard. And where you have the best relationships are not necessarily best for you. David, I believe you and I are give and take. I've offended you plenty over the years by making fun of you and ridiculing you. But you know what, David? In our case, we do it to demonstrate, to show.
Yeah, but I take it also but I take it also for where it comes from. I
Oh,
know where it comes from. The problem is, Stuart, is, and I think we've all been there. When I wear this, folks, I'm making a statement quietly. But I got to tell you how many people have made rude, absolutely obnoxious remarks to me, strangers, over this. And I'm like, where's this? Like, this is civility. I'm wearing this because there's still some 70 odd, I say, people, bodies, whatever is left. Okay. And when Hamas plays, with people's minds, when people are not disgusted by the fact that the three men who were released a couple of weeks ago looked emaciated, that there's still a baby and a toddler still there, and for all we know, they're dead. Okay, and where's the humanity? Where's the civility? None. And we've accepted that as normal. That's where I'm really struggling. So if you want to pick on me and you want to call me a jerk, or you want to make fun of my headphones, or you want to talk about the fact that I live in Canada and I'm snowed in, I don't really care. That's jostling between two friends. But when there's a line and people continue to cross the line saying, I can do whatever I want, you can't. That's where you got to stop that. We just got to stop that. And when we stop that, when we recognize, Stuart, that we've gone over that line, maybe we have a chance. Maybe we have a chance at going back to some civility. But when our leaders do not respect each other, I want to tell you something funny, Stuart. And I'd like to wrap up with this, and I'll give you the last word on this one. But what is the one thing after a hockey playoff series that happens? You could beat the crap out of each other on the ice. You could boo the national anthems. Okay? On Thursday, Canada and the United States are going to play in Boston in the finals. They'll boo the Canadian national anthem. They'll hit each other. They punch the crap out of each other. You know what they're going to do when that game is over, though, Stuart?
Yep.
What?
They're going to slap the hands and shake the hands, coach, players,
hugs, everybody. That's the respect that they have for each other. That despite all of their disagreements on the ice, the hype, the game, the flag, the whatever, even in the regular NHL, after the playoff, after every playoff series, even at the Stanley Cup Finals, they shake hands. We need to take that approach in life. We could disagree, we could fight, but when it's over, we shake hands and respect the opponent. Last word to you, my friend.
My last word is, we've taken too much time, David. We got to go.
All right. Well, Stuart has decided for us when we're going to go. Guys, we'll see you on Friday.